A couple days ago, as of the writing of the script, a friend of mine sent me this video that turned out to be one of the worst playthroughs of a game I've seen in a while. He basically by accident sent the perfect subject for me to talk about, as not only am I a huge MGR fan, but I've also wanted to make commentary videos for a while now. I figured I might be able to merge the styles of some of my favorite creators on the platform in the hopes to make something entertaining. Without further ado, let's get started. Hamsterbomb's channel started out with some videos reviewing various figures and models from the media he watched and played over the years, such as Metroid, Pokemon, Metal Gear, and the like. His most popular videos were centered around Pokemon. It's one of those creators that have been on the platform for a while now, but haven't really met too much success. Now he does live streams where he plays games and a series of reviews that don't really gain much traction with the algorithm, given the fact that they're pretty lazy comparative to his earlier content. Not really all that surprising. In all honesty, it's not all that interesting to me, aside from the dreaded playthrough of MGR.
I'll get you, bitch!
And so this video will cover primarily his two videos containing his unfair evaluation of Metal Gear Rising. Every now and then I'll add bits of pieces from the group commentary I planned that I recorded with a few of my friends. However, I have lost bits and pieces of it due to poor OBS use, so it'll only pop up now and then. I also believe it's important to know I'm not acting as some sort of ambassador of the MGR community. I'm just someone who really enjoyed the game and wanted to make a commentary video. Anyway, hope you enjoy. Oh boy, what a great start. I wonder if he'll think this is a good game to play with himself too.
You can jump over obstacles, but the ninja run will get you across them more quickly and easily.
Uh-huh. What does that mean? Okay, thanks.
I had to actually check if they showed the input for ninja running because I didn't even remember. If the game didn't tell him, I mean, fair enough. But as you can see right now on screen, that's obviously not the case. And of course, this is all just to fit this narrative that the game doesn't tell you enough. Which, I mean, the game could tell you more, but I'll touch upon that later.
First, follow the direction of the enemy's attack. Parry those attacks by executing light attacks of your own in the same direction.
What?
Okay, I'm gonna be real here. I didn't learn how to parry until Blade Wolf, so I'd be a hypocrite to say that this isn't a confusing line from Doctor.
That's just gross, dude. Oh my god. The poor guy, let him go right and he's dead.
I fucking love Blade mode.
Oh, whoops. That ain't right. Did that not work at all? It says match the direction. I don't know how to really like match the direction when my camera and my aiming, you know.
It's like I said, what Doctor says is very confusing, so I'm just gonna give him the benefit here.
I want him dead.
The way he said that, I want him dead.
Ah, yes, I love Sundowner as a villain. Hey, you should install the incorrect Sundowner quotes mod.
Okay. Oh, great. I start with this much HP. Okay.
What is going on?
See, one bullet. Wait, what? YB? Oh, no. This is a quick time event. Pushing it. What? The directions are wrong. Oh my god, that's stupid. Oh my god, this game is too much.
The ship's unique design suggests there were no fatalities.
Huh? Oh, come on! You gotta admit this is cool!
The directions that they're putting buttons on there are the Xbox order, which are only what an absolute buffoon does when playing video games.
I don't know what the hell he's talking about. This game released for the Xbox 360 and PS3, so there's X input and PlayStation input. I don't know. My friend said he was using a PS3 controller. I mean, Hamsterbomb was, but I didn't see him use it myself, so I was kind of confused. We do see Hamsterbomb switch to an Xbox 360, but I didn't see what he was using before that. Chances are all he had to do was check Steam.
The order was incorrect. I was pushing it correctly the whole time. There's like no way to turn this off, is there? Oh good, there's more options. No, there's not.
Now I'm even more confused because I used the DualShock 4 as well as the X-input controller that was rivaling the DualShock 4. I can't be bothered to remember. They both had the same input for defensive offense as well as the same input for takedowns. There might be some sort of issue with using older controllers with playing this game. I never tried my PS3 controllers, just a wild guess. Then again, knowing him, he probably did it on purpose for the camera. Please do let me know in the comments if you do know what issue you might be having. As much as I want to clown on him, I do want to give him his fair chance.
What the heck? He's back here.
I have no explanation for this. I've never encountered this whenever I played the game. Maybe he's running the game on a fucking potato, I don't know.
Options! Can I fix it in the game? Are you kidding me? No, I can't?
Maybe check Steam.
You know what would happen if you sliced a missile? You'd die.
As if the other Metal Gear games didn't have wacky ass shit.
This is like a ridiculous parody. Oh my god! So now you can run fast.
I don't even know what to say about this. He's clearly running the exact same speed.
What the heck are we supposed to do then?
That's why they called us.
Call us to what?
You would know if you were paying attention.
What? Why is the water just floating in? Okay. So. Ooh, what's that do? What did that do?
Did you not see the obvious AR display?
So I have to watch if their attacks are coming from, vertical or horizontal slices.
At this point, I'm just gonna cut out every bit in the video where he's struggling with how to parry. I'll let you know when he figures it out.
That must be a really crappy blade if you actually have to screw it together.
This is like that whole realism shtick that people argue about on Twitter. We don't need video games to replicate the real world to absolute fucking perfection. I could go on a whole rant about that, but I'm gonna spare you. That's not the topic of this video. I actually quite like how the HF blade looks. It's very industrial. It's a great contrast to the Muramasa, which is obviously a more traditional look, which makes perfect sense because, well, Jetstream Sam's his rival. I mean, if you look at some of the blades in this game, some of them are actually just really fucking whack. Like if you look at the stun blade or the Kabuto Wari, which is the original blade that it's designed off of, it doesn't adapt too many of the practical elements that made it a good backup weapon in feudal Japan. And obviously I don't say this to knock on the game. The people who made the game obviously had a respect from Japanese culture and weaponry. They just wanted to get stupid artsy, give Raiden some ridiculous blades to work with.
People who
gonna
terrorize
say.
and take innocent lives for money. They sowed their fate when they took
That's
this
what
job.
Raiden
I'm
does.
just the Reaper.
No, Raiden does not terrorize innocent people for money. In fact, you actually save a few civilians along the way. Destroying evil in defense of the innocent is not something that should be condemned. Some would even call it noble. But I'm not gonna give you a fucking philosophy lesson either. Raiden's doing what he thinks is right. End of story.
This guy, please. Oh, but I was pushing. Oh, why do you say B on screen when it's not B?
It is in fact B.
Open it. Open it. I'm pushing every single button possible. This is too detailed for it to not actually have anything. What do you want? Why did that work?
The box is blue and has a blue latch. What else is blue? Is it Zendatsu? Do you need to use blade mode? Beats me.
How am I supposed to use the... Explain stuff, game. Change sub... Combat manual, change sub... I push that and nothing happens.
If Raiden is in motion or attacking an enemy, the sub-weapon menu cannot come up. This is most likely a feature to stop the player from disrupting the flow of combat. I just don't see why this would be a bug. Even if it is somehow, it is quite helpful to have.
Yes, my moment. I'm pushing it. Good God. What it actually wanted was L2. And then when it told me to fire with right trigger, what it wanted was R1.
From this point on, I'm not going to talk about his controller issue anymore. It's probably something he can easily fix in Steam. That is, if he's not faking this. In any case, if there's a point where it's more important to talk about, I'll certainly address it.
Come on. He's so slow. Like I'm pushing the run, and he won't start running. You get into a combo, and you have like this obvious huge wind up from a gecko, and I stop pushing attack, and I start telling Raiden to run, which is R2, okay? I'm hitting R2, and he just keeps fighting. He does like 3 more attacks in a huge combo and refuses to like get out of the way.
Ninja running is not a good way to evade damage. What you want to do is use defensive offense or the parry, but he doesn't know how to do either of those yet.
It's got a lot of HP.
Blade Wolf has the lowest HP of any boss, if you could even consider him a boss. I have been notified during the editing of this video that actually that is false. Apparently Sundowner has the lowest HP. He really did just get the short end of the stick in this whole game. Anyway, my point still remains, he's weak as fuck.
I will exterminate your consciousness.
That's so... Oh my god. This is like watching a really, really bad game movie. Oh, this is rough.
Now that's absolutely unfair to this game. Video game movies are typically made just to make a quick buck off the IP. Not to mention the fact that they're completely fucking soulless. Even though this game is obviously a radical spin-off from the Metal Gear series, it still has great respect for the source material. And even though this game can obviously get cheesy at times, me personally, I don't think they overdo it. It has a bit of fun with itself, even though admittedly it was a bit rushed. The game doesn't nearly have as much problems as he claims it does. It's perfectly acceptable as a retail video game no matter how he wants to spin it. I mean, the PC port isn't the best. The people I know who mod the game can attest to that. I've only played the game on PC and I've never had too many issues. Not to mention the fact that I was always with a controller. Keyboard and mouse never really clicked with me, but I digress.
You push it in L3 and it's center, or R3, and it centers your camera behind you. But you point that at an enemy and nothing happens.
That's because R1 is the lock on, but you know, he hasn't figured that out yet. He needs the game to hold his hand a bit more. Now the camera does actually have some issues, but I figure there's a better time to discuss that.
Oh my god. Silly me for pushing the buttons they told me in the tutorial. This is what they do. Oh, right. I pushed the right directional button and I...
You serious?
So freaking finicky, I can't stand it. Oh my god, Raiden. Jesus H. Christ, make up your mind.
Yeah, there's certain areas in the game where ninja running is just a wee bit finicky. These pillars in the hammerhead fight are no exception.
That's interesting, but I sure don't care.
What do you want? Okay, so no button prompt there, but it wanted me to hold down L2.
Man, I'm getting some secondhand frustration here. This is annoying to watch.
Why not double back? Check the vehicle route again. You know, back at the entrance to the old city.
Where'd the game go? The game crashed.
Ladies and gentlemen, it only gets worse. He alt-tabs out the game and then he claims that the game crashed. If it's not obvious to you at this point that he's doing this to spin his narrative that this game is just horribly ported, then I don't know what to tell you.
So, okay, here. This is just dumb. So that doesn't break anything. Not even a scratch. But this...
This?
Why did it work that time? My heart can't take this.
My heart can't
It
take
really
this, guys.
isn't.
Nor can my sanity. Allow me to quickly explain why this is fucking stupid. So slicing this door open is an optional way to progress. Only if you get the left hand that has the correct ID data for access to the door. While he was busy ranting about MGS4's bad storytelling, he misses the dialogue that tells him how to progress this area.
It's like the only Metal Gear game people are like, well, okay, 5 has its problems too. No, I am much more forgiving of 5 than 4. People are about 5 or more like, it just didn't get finished, and it was too big for its own good. How these people come back? Versus 4, it's like, it's just bad storytelling, is really all it is. There's huge YouTube videos explaining in grand detail that I will not get here off the top of my head exactly what I'm talking about.
You missed them all? Well,
Huh?
you just have to fight your way through.
Wait, was I supposed to be doing something else?
And so he misses the left hand, has to resort to slicing the door, continues to miss the door for a long time, and then he blames his misses on the game.
I'm trying to get it. There we go. B. I did this earlier. Oh, that heals you. Oh, that changes things. That's an interesting mechanic. I like that. There. Yeah, get the arm off and you yank it. Yeah, this is cool.
Oh, that's nice. He actually likes something about the game. I wonder if he'll go on to praise something else.
Controls are horrible. This port is just garbage.
Oh, just straight back to this then? Okay.
This whole time I'm holding right on the analog and it's not turning. Just saying. Just wanted to point that out to you. What the hell is that hit detection? Oh, it was there. It was there. Oh, and he picked it up anyway. It said destroyed. I'm so confused.
That means the cyborg is destroyed, not the weird-ass electrolyte spine.
You would think you could walk through this too, by the way. Why did it work that time? I tell the game to do something, and it doesn't do it. Try it again, doesn't do it. Try again, doesn't do it. I'm like, alright, so I give up. It doesn't work.
This area is not one of those areas where ninja running is harder. This is just a skill issue.
Just 'cause...
What's happening? Your heart rate spiked.
This is so stupid.
Yeah, I just dodged a bullet. I'm heading for the refinery.
Oh, I can't. I can't.
Yeah, this is a funny scene, but I get the feeling that he's not really laughing with it, which is fine. I mean, humor's subjective and all that, but I'm particularly pissed off, and his laugh is really annoying, so I figured I'd leave this in. Not a criticism, mind you.
Camera had a bit of a conniption fit there, but that's okay.
As I touched upon earlier, there's some issues with the camera. Whenever you're close to a wall, the camera has a nasty habit of going a bit crazy. I don't know if this was present in the Xbox 360 and PS3 release for this game, but either way, I'd say it's a good criticism, actually.
Get away, man. See, that was me once again, like, doing the... Okay, come on. We need the heal. Where'd the gecko go? Where's the gecko?
I actually have zero clue what's going on here. I've never experienced this bug. Everyone I asked in the server that I'm in has zero idea. And these are modders I'm talking about. Unfortunately, the most definitive answer that I got didn't really make sense to me when I look back at Hamster Bomb's footage. Either way, I'd like to thank Space Corps for his efforts. Also, why the fuck is there a cursor there?
What is happening? It's so glitchy. Oh my god. Look what it's doing. Oh my god. It got stuck on the Ferris wheel. What? What the? So the jump button just randomly decided not to be a jump button.
Bullshit!
Now this is where things get really weird. That is if I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that this wasn't on purpose. There is no controller issue in this game where all of a sudden your buttons just switch what they do. This is just blasphemous. My best guess here is optics. This really doesn't make any sense outside of the fact that he could be doing this on purpose.
There it goes again! It's still going! Oh, this is actually loads easier when they fly low enough for me to hit them. Like, what is this fight? This is a boss fight. What's happening? Like, what if we just made the helicopter fly low enough that you can jump and hit it and it never shot at you?
What a great question. That would be interesting. It'd probably be pretty damn easy. This is all purely hypothetical, of course. As you could see, he didn't really have too much of a strategy down. And so because of this, the Hammerheads had a lot of opportunities to shoot at him. But he doesn't show too much of this in his playthrough. Most of this is from his live stream. Just thought it'd be important to note.
Now, did I actually make an opening in the hitbox? I want to see. You do? Oh, that's so cool!
Well, I'm certainly glad he's enjoying more of this game. That's twice now he actually had something to praise about this game. Wonder if it'll happen again.
This dude, this guy, do you see him? He has no arms and he's after me, kicking me. That won't stop me. Look at this. What happened? What hit me?
Well, looks like I spoke too soon. What he's just done is dismembered the enemy and ran away from them. This triggers them to despawn. When in certain ranked engagements, you get a no-kill bonus if you do this. However, you didn't see that here because this wasn't a ranked engagement. In a ranked engagement, your rank would be displayed on screen along with the no-kill bonus. To frame this as a bug in the game is disingenuous, because if you look at the way that the enemy disappears, this is obviously intended. This isn't like, poof, the enemy's gone. There's a whole animation for it.
Look at this camera. Look at how sucky that camera is. That should have seen me.
Yeah, this stupid laser camera thing is odd. I asked a few people who are more knowledgeable on the series as a whole, and they haven't seen any cameras like this. Apparently it only appears in Metal Gear Rising. But it's also worth noting that this camera isn't bugged. It's working perfectly fine. They just made it a weird laser scanning thing.
So who actually owns this plant?
On the books, a private abcast firm. In reality, the Russian state.
He like started talking and then he
So all the money goes right back to Russia?
What's wrong with the timing? It's like a full 2-second lag.
So reckless. There must be someone
Maybe
else.
more.
Why would he?
Revenge, Tovarich.
What is happening?
This is likely due to him probably running this game on a potato, but I plan on talking about that much later.
That was really long anyway, and honestly, it didn't matter for what we're doing.
Well, it's still quite relevant. I can see why Raiden would want to know the motives of the terrorist he's trying to take down. There are some times where the codex get a little more off topic, but generally speaking, those ones are usually giving us more insight of the characters.
Look how she walks. It's so obnoxious.
She's just flaunting what she's got. It's like a supermodel walk. And I mean, look, heels are not good footwear for combat. Here's a good video if you want to learn more about that subject. TLDR, they're pretty damn hard to walk in, let alone fight in them. Give the game a little more leeway. It's a style choice.
Imagine he gets up onto the altar and he's like, I was so excited for this day, but as soon as he gets there, he just starts bitching about the way his wife walked down the altar.
How does he have a wife?
I can't lock on. Where do I put my hand? How do I get into the ring?
Oh my god, you are stunned for a day and a half!
Yeah, I think the controls for breaking away from a stun lock like this could be a bit better. Maybe they could have utilized the D-pad, so you had to go like left and right. I think that would have been a more friendly input. Even still, I would say this stun lock that you get whenever you're hit by an enemy, as opposed to the grappling, is a lot easier. You have a lot less of a time window when you get hit, as opposed to an enemy grabbing you.
But if it was a button detonation, why did he have to stand on it?
Well, if you wanted more context, you should have been listening. Earlier in this cutscene, which is a part that he cut out of his playthrough, Dulceyev describes the Russian power plant as nothing but a prison to the people of Abkhazia, thereby giving Dulceyev a reason to blow up the plant.
Built with Russian money to make Russian money. It is no plant for Abkhaz. It is their prison. But now, they will be free!
Damn! Crazy son of a bitch!
Dulceyev killed himself purposely. He planned on overthrowing the Russian government. Also worth noting, he left out the context of the codec between him and Mistral.
He was even saying like, no, you have to live. Blows himself up immediately. And it was clearly part of his plan. He was already walking up the stairs.
Mister, report! Your vitals are dropping.
I lost. So this is how they felt.
What?
Dying. For a cause.
Wait. No, hold on.
I am sorry. He was too much.
I do not need apology. I need you alive.
But I know you will never fall.
What is this talk about?
Je t'aime. Je t'aime encore.
Je t'aime. Mister, you never...
In summary, Dulceyev's motives makes perfect sense within the mind of a scarorist. He's a low-tier Mistral simp who thinks he can overthrow the Russian government. Although the way you learn about his plan failing is through a later codec with Courtney you get in Chapter 2.
I can't believe Dulceyev blew himself up.
Pretty common terror tactic. You don't usually see the leaders doing it, though. It's one thing to get your flock pumped up on the glory of dying for the cause, but it's not often they actually go through with it themselves.
You gotta have a public face, after all. The guy who gets to claim responsibility on the evening news.
In a weird way, Dulceyev showed some serious dedication. Not that I'm about to praise him for it.
Yeah, still a terrorist. A suicide bomber in the end.
If that's what you want to call him. Still, he kind of failed at it.
How so?
Well, all that explosion did was put a dent in Abkhazia's budget. Or Russia's, really. They're the ones rebuilding the refinery. The coup didn't work out. He couldn't overthrow the government. He was barely a blip on Russia's radar.
So, you're saying the bombing didn't accomplish any of his goals? He did it just because he was cornered? Sounds more like just plain suicide.
Yeah. Probably wanted to end things with his own hands. Like a samurai committing harakiri.
Still not something to be commended for, though.
Yeah. Lumping him in with true warriors like the samurai just gives them a bad name.
Customize Raiden's body. Why'd you have to say it like that? So you get your eye back. Okay.
I'm curious as to why he removed this little gripe that he had with the game. Maybe because it's stupid and we all know it's stupid. It should be considered a privilege to have the opportunity to play as all these different versions of Raiden. Not to mention being able to play as Gray Fox. All in all, I don't know what the hell he's thinking with this point.
Oh, they are just, oh, that's so cool. Yes. I want to be Gray Fox. Oh, actual abilities. Where is targeting system and dodge? Can I have dodge and targeting system? The two basis for a hack and slash game.
This guy is the
Look at all
reason that
this-
there are so many games that hold your hand like a goddamn toddler the whole time.
It's like the
Yeah.
Ubisoft UI. It's like
Yeah.
that.
Oh my god, there's a lot of things on the UI. I hate cluttered UIs.
That improves reaction speed in his quadriceps, enabling a special upward thrust with his weapon held in his foot. How do you do it? Who knows?
Wonder if when he goes into the pause menu, he sees the giant button that says help.
Hope so. You'd be a little conspicuous just walking.
Oh boy.
Oh, this is the part.
Relax, Kev. I'll blend right in.
I came back to my favorite
Is
pilot.
this racist? Oh my god.
Adios, amigos.
Oh my god,
They
it's
laughed
so
about
racist!
So
God,
for
it's
me,
so
I'm not
racist.
American, so is me speaking
Wasn't that
English
fair?
considered
Right there?
racist?
I'm hitting R2, by the way.
No,
Yeah, that's
because you're
that's
not, because
cultural
you're not white. You're
appropriation.
not white. No, you can do it because you're not white. If you're white, you can do it. If you're
Oh,
like,
yeah,
white, you
yeah,
can't. But if you're anything
But I'm
else,
not
you
white,
can't.
I'm Asian.
Yeah, so you can do whatever you want.
Damn.
That's
I
what
got-
you guys
Can
supposed
I
to-
say-
Political. Turn it
Even
back.
though-
Turn it back. Back to haha funny. This guy sucks.
It's R1. I've been pushing that. I need to log on this entire goddamn game. Push 3 times the same button. I couldn't do this each time. What is this? I couldn't open it in there. Hold on. XNA is right. Oh my god. Okay, so that means we're this. The buttons are wrong. However, this is right. Look at these comments, by the way. Just why? I let it take press. I'll open this menu. Find the thumbs up. Did you see that? It just like no frame went into a spin animation.
Meanwhile,
Did you see that?
In fact, I did. I saw how you edited out the warning that the game gave you. Pretty damn sneaky.
I would expect it to have, you know, any support for a controller that it could feasibly use on Steam. That's your base obligation if you're porting a game to Steam. Can the person who bought the game play it?
Yes, I had zero problems playing this with the DualShock 4 and my Xbox controller. All I had to do was get them connected to my PC.
Like a hologram wall, you have to scan to reveal it? Like, does this game want me to run in hack and slash, or does it want me to play it like Metal Gear? Like, make up your mind.
I don't know, maybe just try balancing the two playstyles. I mean, come on. You got the mark on your minimap. Do you need some yellow paint?
Because I love Metal Gear. I want to love this. Boy, I wanted to play this so bad, and this game is like the definition of unfun. And this is like
He did not want to play this so bad. He does not want to play this.
This is a fucking lie.
Bro only played it for the
He didn't even,
meme.
Like, he did not get on this game, and he was not, like, excited. He was like, yay, I want to play Metalgearrising, and then just have it suck, and he just hate it. He came in already hating the game.
Right here.
But this is one of the worst games I've played in years. Like, I'm tempted to just turn it off and, like, stream something that I know is actually going to be fun. The cardboard boxes are reusable. But not this one! Make up your mind, game!
Why exactly does this cardboard box have to be usable? Like, this specific cardboard box. Why does Raiden need to be able to hide in it? I guess he wasn't lying when he said this was going to be painful to watch.
If that thing was just pointed straight, it would never have seen me. Like, you stand here, and you put a camera here. You're a guard, right? You put a camera right here so nobody gets in here. And you have that camera have, like, a telescope lens on it. Looking at the beetles walking back and forth, checking if there's any mice turds right here.
As I've said before, this laser camera thing is pretty stupid, but it's nothing to get your panties all in a bunch over. It's not a glitch. The camera's working exactly as planned.
My God, who the hell cares?
Human beings actually worked on this and thought this was okay.
Have you seen Starfield? Cyberpunk? This game is relatively well polished. Again, it has its issues, but if you want to look at a game that is fundamentally broken, there's a lot better picks. As you can see, I have a PC that can actually run this. I'm not suffering any massive game-breaking issues here.
But first, you need to take a dump.
wait, what?
Yeah, that was hilarious. Like, I didn't even humor it. This game is a dupe. There, I humored it.
Stealth ops were your specialty.
What was I supposed to do? Man, this stun mechanic is just frustrating. Like, how many attacks did I just take in a row because I can't move?
Maybe you can't move because when you get hit, you get stunned, and you haven't dedicated enough time to learning how to avoid damage.
I can't even... Oh my god, the lag is so bad. I can't even see what I'm doing. No, this guy... No. Fine, kill him first.
What you just saw was Hamster Bomb switching from one target to the other with his target lock. He then proceeded to turn off his target lock. Notice the white option to target lock still there. As he turns it back on, he goes back to attack this enemy in frustration because Raiden apparently didn't listen to him. This is like a blink and you'll miss it kind of thing, so I don't blame him too much. Even still, important to note, this is really just a skill issue.
So, you're supposed to cut this up. Right? Why did he not do it?
When Raiden doesn't have his fuel cells properly, well, fueled, he can't perform as Zandatsu. As Doctor states, you need to attack enemies to refuel your fuel cells. This information can be heard in the first Doctor codec.
What is wrong with this game? Is it broken too? No, it actually... Oh, there's a guy in here. Oh my god. These controls are horrendous.
Please do your best to avoid being seen.
So you want me to play stealthy? I don't understand.
Most engagements in the game give you the option of stealth. There are times where the characters are more insistent upon it for some reason, but most of the time it's an option. If you wanted to play this game like a hack and slash game, you could prioritize that, generally speaking. Now obviously you have to slow down sometimes to use your AR display to figure different stuff out. Other than boss fights, the game lets you do it for most encounters.
Where did you want me to go? What did you want me to do? Like, and he was just saying, oh, you can't do that, Raiden, you have to be stealthy. Where do I go? Don't just say that. I mean, I'm fine with stealth. Like, I can do it, but this is not the game for it. They're not giving you the mechanics for it. Look at how jerky this is. Like, am I supposed to be going up here or not?
Or not.
Where am I supposed to go? Like, am I supposed to cut one of these doors? Down here. Meaning you had to kill those guys.
And you had the option of doing it stealthily.
Yeah, please, give me a break from... God damn it. I was gonna say, hey, good, we're finally gonna get some cutscenes and give me a break from how bad this is. Nope. Your reprieve is instantaneous.
I sincerely apologize for you having to play this game for your audience. It just irks me. It just really gets to my soul.
Hey, if they want to melee me, that'd be fine. Just keep using your Y combo. You know, the worst kind of hack and slash is the ones where you just push one button.
Yes, Raiden does have combos where you can just push one button constantly, but he also has plenty of other ones. Basically, just about any button combination is a combo. This makes the flow of combat very fluid.
Is it over?
For now.
I wish. How does something like that even happen? Also, I'm sure if you convince those kids, hey, we'll turn you into a cyborg ninja, clearly, from that other kid, they're interested in this. They want that. They wouldn't be fighting you, and it would be voluntary. Now, you probably shouldn't let a child make that decision, but if they're adults, you know, who cares?
Oh no, guys, that sounds like a trans allegory. Cancel him.
This should all be perfectly legal. We shouldn't have to murder everyone who works here.
The problem is, these are homeless kids taking on this job opportunity, only to become brain-jacked cyborgs, or rather more accurately, cyborgs with nanomachine emotional suppression, or whatever. Hey, I never said this game's plot was perfect. And besides, this is a terrorist organization you're taking down, one that was gonna have child soldiers in it. I think that's good enough reason alone.
He works at a computer desk all day.
I don't know.
On his screen.
Wait, what was that about?
Why is he...
Why does she have gargantuan knockers?
Gargantuan knockers.
There wasn't even anybody in sight. Why would it just start shooting?
Maybe it started shooting because Raiden was in the line of fire. It doesn't really look like it the way that he plays it out, but he's really hugging this wall, and so it causes it to look like the Grat is in fact shooting at nothing. When as you can see, I played this part a bit more normally, and it looks totally fine. It just has a weird trigger, I guess.
Am I really just attacking it like this? Because, how on earth you cannot get a missile to just 360 like that? What do you want from me, game? Remember when an enemy is about to attack, you have to move towards them and attack it. Towards?
I pity the people who are trying to get him to learn how to parry, or how to do anything in this game for that matter.
What is this? Why did it work that time? I was just mashing it. See, you just mash and hope that it works.
I would like to remind everyone this is after he's played the Prologue, Chapter 1, most of Chapter 2, and he still hasn't learned how to parry. And this is even after he's parried an attack perfectly. He at least knows the input is light attack and joystick in the direction of the enemy. You would think the natural evolution of this is to do that at the same time, but you know, he doesn't really pick up onto it because the game doesn't explicitly tell him it. And so, naturally, he says the game is at fault for this. Which, I mean, there's something to be said about describing the mechanics of a game to the player. I'm not going to go too in depth about that, because if I'm going to be honest, that's not my area of expertise. Even still, I wouldn't say it's nearly as difficult as he frames it out to be.
I think they spent all their money on their, music. Yeah, that's right.
Spent all their money on the music? Oh, is that is that a backhanded compliment?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's right. I can do it. Not a spin. See, like, an AoE like that, you can't really do anything about that.
Buckle the fuck up, little doggy.
Bruh, imagine him fighting two grads on very hard revengeance. He'll probably break his controller.
Either he's extremely unresponsive, or you push a button, and Raiden just does what he feels like.
Raiden is unresponsive?
Yes.
Raiden does what he feels like, because Raiden is cool.
What am I, Desperado?
Raiden is just too based to listen to your input commands. He's gonna do what he wants.
You committed to something when you pushed a button like 10 seconds ago, and he's like, no, I'm gonna finish this enormous combo even though nobody's here and there's a huge attack coming. Bullshit. L2 gets you killed. What? Where am I? Oh, I'm behind him. Where? Get... Why is this camera so awful? I wanted a lock-on so bad. Now that I finally know how to use it, it's like the worst lock-on I've ever used.
Give me a break.
This is a boss fight. Like, this is an actual boss fight. At this point, L2 is reload checkpoint.
Colorado is in America, and America has these things called laws.
Because the rest of the world is just a bunch of barbarians, and we can do whatever we want there.
I don't think I have to say why this is fucking stupid. Regardless, I'm gonna be courteous enough to play the entire codex, just so everyone's on the same page.
Right. I knew I'd seen that guy before. Stephen Armstrong. As in Colorado Senator Stephen Armstrong. They're already talking about him as a shoo-in for the nomination in 2020. And get this. 2 years ago, a federal grand jury investigated his ties to a certain private...
World Marshal. One of the biggest PMCs out there. I remember.
The biggest, ever since the Big Five split up. Not to mention the single largest investor in military cyborg R&D in the world. Guess that answers the question of who's backing Desperado.
Marshall and Desperado in bed together. Should make for some fun headlines.
Headlines? This is World Marshal and a U.S. Senator we're talking about. There won't be any headlines. Even without the Patriots filter, no major media outlet will investigate allegations like these. It'd be financial and political suicide.
So we just what? Sit back while they keep carving up kids, stand aside while they build an army of cyborgs? You heard them. We shut down one lab, they build another. They're planning something big, Kev. We can't just wait for it to happen. We need to hit them first and hit them hard where it counts.
No, Raiden, no. I know what you're thinking, and just no. Colorado is in America, and America has these things called laws.
Mm-hmm. And law enforcement in Denver was privatized and farmed out to...
Marshall, yes, so what? There are still laws, and it's their headquarters, for Christ's sakes. You'd be heading right into the heart of a raging shitstorm.
I didn't say it would be easy. We'll figure it out once the kids are safe.
Jesus Christ. Kevin, out.
Suffice to say, Kevin was being overly facetious. The game wasn't handing out some weird message that third world countries are all fucking lawless and shit places to be.
Why do I not get a courteous heal after beating a boss.
Well, if you needed a heal, you could always go into your inventory and use an electrolyte pack.
I like how the game implies that only America has laws. It didn't imply, that's what it said. Yeah, it made me pretty mad too. Every other country is full of lawless monkeys.
I think it more likely that this is projection on his part.
There are organ harvesting plants around the world. Why are you going for this particular one that has this many armed guards? I promise you, you go to like China where there's huge plants.
I could think of a couple of reasons. This is likely the largest in the region. It's connected to Desperado. They're trying to uncover the mystery behind who's backing them. Need I go on?
Surrender! Or decide. The needs of the many or the needs of the few.
Okay, now this could lead to a decent bit of criticism. So my initial interpretation of this cutscene was that Raiden couldn't open the glass because the scientist had George, right? George says,
Don't worry about me now.
and a surprised Raiden asks,
Are you sure?
and then the following happens.
I'm ready. Me life now so precious. Ting. What if we can take this skunt to hell with me?
Which has Raiden decide to go for the scientist.
That's all I needed to hear.
At the risk of George's life. And he saves the children behind the glass. And I already hear you in the comment section. We don't see him slice open the glass, so how do we know that happened? Well, I think it can be inferred that this was the intended way to see this cutscene due to the line, the needs of the many, or the needs of the few. And I mean, just looking at it and hearing that line, just seems like it's very much like a superhero type dilemma. I understand the confusion people have with this scene though, as the people I asked about this scene had differing perspectives on how we should be interpreting this cutscene. And I do believe that's kind of on purpose, especially seeing what follows in the next cutscene, where George is alive actually, although it really looks like you slice them both in half. Anyway, let's see what Hamsterbomb has to say about all this.
This is an easy choice. If you came this far slaughtering people, this is an easy choice. Kid got himself caught. And we sent help to get that kid picked up. What happened? He went through both of them? He was ducking down. He was asking for it.
Oh my god. I don't even know what to say about this.
Destroy the child. Corrupt them all.
There's my mouse again. Yeah, he just killed them both. I know, like all the other kids suffocated from the chloroform.
It has come to my attention that there's a codec with Doctor that actually tells you that these kids behind the glass have survived. You can find this codec by immediately talking to Doctor at the beginning of chapter 3. And of course, because I've only encountered this after I was told about it, about like 300 hours into Metal Gear Rising, I'm not gonna hold it against him.
George has the best body we can give him right now. And the rest of the children are also safe. And quite content too, I should add.
So, like, what was the point? What was the point? Nos will never leave. It will be here till the end of time. Them silly barbarian monkeys in everywhere in the world other than America. They ain't got no laws. I'll blend right in if I wear a sombrero. They'll never see me. I'm so offended.
I'm just gonna let this codec speak for itself.
Hey, Raiden, where'd you get that hat you were wearing?
The sombrero? I picked it up at a souvenir store here. I guess I just kind of like the design. Also, when you're on a scout mission, it's vital that you use the local attire to blend into the background.
Yeah. I think it looked pretty good on you. You looked like some kind of mariachi singer.
Oh, you think so?
Yep. Only, that's kind of a problem too.
How so?
Well, I mean, that sombrero really is meant to be part of a mariachi costume. Mexicans don't wear hats like that normally.
Come on. The guy at the shop told me I'd look just like a local.
Yeah, a local tourist maybe. Look, you might see a lot of Mexican men wearing sombreros during their daily routines, but, nothing like that. They'd go for something a lot more simple and compact. Something not all that different from cowboy hats in the Old West.
Are you sure?
I don't know if it's true or not, but I have heard one theory about the modern cowboy hat. They say it's based on the sombreros the original Western settlers brought from Mexico. Of course, cowboy hats come in all shapes and sizes, so you can't really say a specific one's the cowboy hat.
Huh. Well, now I know why the locals were so eager to get a look at me.
That wasn't the hat.
So what happened at the end of Metal Gear Solid 4 with Raiden? Like, why did he suddenly abandon Rose and his child? That was a good ending for him. As screwed up as that game was, that was a good ending.
As someone who's only a Rising fan, I don't really have any grounds to really talk about this. I've never played any of the Metal Gear games other than Rising, With that said, I can still see Raiden's motives. He doesn't want others to share the same fate he did as a child soldier himself. And at this point in the story, Raiden is reluctant to admit to himself that he actually does enjoy killing, though he does eventually later.
I won't sit by while they butcher little kids and ship their parts around like meat. It's sick.
Raiden cares so much about kids he's never met, but he doesn't seem to care at all about his own.
Okay, now this I know is bullshit. The few times that he actually does mention Rose and his own son, he says that they would understand why he has to do this. Granted, this codec is much later with Boris in this chapter. I may even play it later if necessary, but this much is obvious to me. He hasn't completely abandoned them and lost all care for them. Anyway, I'm just gonna leave this until later, when it's a lot more relevant.
Guess you better arrest me then.
Threatening a peace officer. Deadly force is authorized.
He did not! Oh, we must be in America, because now the police just want to kill on sight.
Here I was, not wanting to make this video political. Oh, fuck me.
Oh my god, look at the poster on the wall! What? You could slice it? Oh no!
Yes, Tovarich.
It got worse! This game is so immature. It really does seem like the target audience for this is like 13-year-olds.
It was almost fine. The amount of actual nitpicking in this whole playthrough is just infuriating. And the reason I say actual nitpicking is because there's a fringe minority of people who will call constructive criticism nitpicking entirely and dismiss it. And even when he's laughing with the game, he's got to put it down a peg every single time. It's almost as if he has some sort of vendetta against the game.
Don't even tell me it's two of them! That thing was impossible before! This is the end of the game. This is it, guys. We're never beating this game now. Let's also remember the cops just randomly rolled up next to Raiden's car and tried headshotting him with no provocation. Yes.
No. They already knew he was going after World Marshal, because World Marshal sent them. They own the police force in Denver.
Why did it have to start so cool with the Ray, and then, well, all the quick time events were a problem, but like, I pushed it! You can push dodge, and Raiden was just like, I don't want to though.
You surprise me to how shit you are.
I'm gonna bet if we attack it, the clothes come off. Alright, let's see.
Yes, Tovarich.
Yeah, boy.
I expected it to be horny. I didn't expect it to be, like, nonsensically horny.
What?
Like, are you not worried that there's civilians that probably work in this place, too? That's a level that, American police haven't gotten to yet, I don't think.
Liberal.
It's like a bad Marvel movie.
I, for one, would like to hear how the hell this is anywhere near as bad as She-Hulk.
Like, I'm half expecting it to turn into, like, a porn parody. It's like that hokey and kooky and stupid. Oh, that guy got a rocket rancher. A rocket launcher. That's what it is. Yes, this is all turning into a porn.
I understand your attempts at humor. I simply do not find them entertaining.
I'm probably gonna tear this game's anus wide open when it comes for a review.
Guess we'll have to see about that.
And they all say they're police. What police in what country ever takes hostages?
A corrupt one, and in this case, one owned by World Marshal.
But you're supposed to be cops. What do they do? Some things World Marshal does not appreciate.
You're on the company blacklist. We're here to check you off.
Oh, I see. And on the report, I got caught in the crossfire? Just a random casualty, is that it? Yeah, pretty much. All just part of the job. You understand. Fuck you! If you're gonna kill me, then do it! Do it!
I was hoping that's what you had to do. What is he doing? He's walking in circles. This is enemy pathing at its finest.
I don't think I have to say this, but this is not poor enemy pathing. This Mastiff is just covering all bases, looking all around so then he doesn't get sneak attacked by Raiden.
It sure is nice in a stealth segment where you get to see through walls.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty cool. Oh, were you expecting some sort of retort to this? It's a cool feature. As someone who says they can't really do stealth in this game, I think you would actually appreciate a little bit more of a guide. I mean, seriously, you've been saying you wanted to be more guided in your playthrough of MGR, but then here you are complaining about something that aids you in being stealthy. Oh no, but the mechanics aren't there to do stealth.
Oh, this is great. Don't you love it when this happens in a game? You know, when you're just like, oh, there's a wall here, apparently.
There's a wall here because the game wants you to defeat the grab that you ran past. But of course, you cut this out of your full playthrough because you're a dishonest prick.
We have our beautiful ray tracing. Also, what's going on with that weird square? Oh, it's gone now. You saw that thing before, right? That square? There it is again. What is that? Oh my god, I realized what's happening. Look at the minimap. See the icons on the minimap? That's supposed to be the minimap.
That right there is a UI glitch that, to my knowledge, is only present in the PC port. It sucks and I wish it wasn't there. So, good criticism, actually.
I have encountered so many glitches and bugs. And this isn't me, like, playing the game for, like, hundreds of hours or anything, like a quality assurance tester would. This is a first random playthrough.
If you guys are counting at home, that is 2 actual bugs he's experienced with the game so far. First, you have the sundowner glitch at the beginning where he phases into the fucking ground. This is likely because of the potato that he's running this game on. Then you have the UI glitch, which I would actually deem worthy of criticism. There's also the camera to talk about. The camera actually does suck quite a bit. It's still manageable though. It doesn't ruin the game, for me at least. All in all, not too many problems as far as PC ports go.
I feel like I'm playing in a completely different game.
That's because this game is a spin-off, and a good one at that. The game's very unique. I love it. There ain't too many hack and slashes like it.
Jank City, that's where we are. We're not in America. That's why there's porn on the street corners, and the policemen are all trying to kill you. We are not in America. This, my friends, is a new location called Jank City. Why do they do this? You horn dogs? Do I get points for it? No, this one doesn't work. That one you gotta keep out. At least be consistent with how thirsty you are, game. It really sucks when, like, at every confrontation, I am on the antagonist's side.
Clear the road! This is official state business!
They're adults. They...
What's the diff? What? Now we're supposed to start caring?
Yes.
Is anyone actually supposed to be surprised by this?
I thought they had a choice.
Why would he know so little about what he's doing and, like, determine, oh yeah, I'm gonna slice these people up without knowing anything about them?
Raiden thought that they chose to do this job, but he didn't know that they had no choice. But he's not like, it's not like Raiden's gonna go in the middle of a conversation, like take him to like a nice steak dinner and say, so why did you pick this job?
Exactly. I do wonder why can he hear their voices, like their thoughts, but I think
the nano machine bullshit.
Nano machine, son.
My emotional state. Oh no. Apparently killing people is bad. Killing people is bad. I'm so sad.
Look, Pip, I know it's our job to help this guy and everything, but I think this guy's a lost cause. He's obviously made up his mind. Why don't we just cut our losses and get out of here?
My name is Monsoon, of the winds of destruction. Yeah, I guessed as much.
Oh, God.
You take advantage of their weakness.
I still completely disagree with our main character, like on every regard.
Of course they guessed.
Don't pretend that you understand the thesis of MGS2.
What?
Prove that Raiden...
Yeah, bro never liked Raiden in the first place.
Thesis.
Don't pretend that you understand the thesis of MGS2.
Actually, what's really sad about that just proved that Raiden himself doesn't understand the thesis of the game that he was the protagonist in. If I have to fight...
Whoa.
Right, how would he understand?
So
He's a
Raiden
character.
doesn't-
It's not like he's
Raiden
reading
doesn't
it.
understand meme theory.
How about full of shit? Is that a meme?
It's not how you're supposed to hold those.
Oh, is that so? Are you the leading authority on how to use Japanese weapons? That might be taking it a step too far. But on a more serious note, why are you talking about this like you know anything about it? It's like you learned everything you know about the Psy from pop culture characters. Which, by the way, is often wrong. So sorry in advance, dear viewer, but this shit's my autism. I made another fucking montage.
But of course, an important point is to have your thumb right there for stability and support. And you need it there when you want to flip it to the next grip, which is the reverse grip. Yaku Temochi. You go thumb, release 4 fingers, let it spin around, and then you grab it again, and you end up in the reverse grip. Bam! Now I go low block here. This position, right? The reverse grip. She continues, because I'm open here, with a high attack. And I move to the side. Because you don't want to have all of the force right here. Try blocking the arm. So that's my low block and my high block. Now my next block is the inside block. She creates space and turns and comes from that side back, right? So I do the inside block, but not out here, because you don't want to receive all of that power just with your arm. So try that again, go closer, and block in the center. Here. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. She spins around, block the center. Full thrust, block. Block the arm, block the center of the ball. Attack, she jams it, I release it, and thread.
I learned young that killing your enemies felt good.
Stop undermining
Really
your-
good.
the other Metal Gear games. This is so bad.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
I was born to kill.
Yeah, let's just completely destroy our own character
The bit
development.
about Jack is back.
Is this supposed to be, like, triumphant, like we're rooting for him? I don't understand. This is, like, destroying his character. It's corny, and it's destroying all the character development that Kojima made.
This is a character losing their shit and regressing. I'm confused. I thought this was a spin-off that wasn't canon to the original Metal Gear games. Like, I'm pretty damn sure that's been established. And I'm not a huge Metal Gear fan at all. I just didn't grow up with the games or any of that. So my question is this: why is it a huge problem when this spin-off takes a different radical direction? I mean, this is a perfect example of a game that still has respect for the source material, but adapts it in this new and unique way. I think back to the line from MGS3, only because it's memed online frequently.
Tank does not need a rocket. It needs something else. Legs. Legs that allow it to go anywhere.
Raiden is essentially this piece of artillery that Grannon speculates could be a tremendous evolution in the technology. And it's alright if this doesn't interest you. My problem is the fact that you have portrayed this game as being a broken mess, both narratively and functionally.
I think it's time for Jack to let her rip.
Oh. Mwah. Should be great to know how to parry now. Or just do literally anything. He's even mocking you at how annoying he is. Like, he knows. I think you have to push the directional button in the way that they parry.
Oh.
That's the opposite of what they told
You
me
learned to
before.
parry!
Assuming I'm doing it. If you count this as a Metal Gear game, which I
Game
don't,
didn't tell
this
you
is like
the
no
to do
contest
the
the
opposite.
worst
The game
one.
just told you how to do it really
this would be
shitty.
so ridiculous. So, when they said direction, they didn't mean like when you swing the sword up and down and then do the opposite of what they do. What they actually meant was like running in the direction of them. Oh, that's some terrible controls, man.
How do you... You can't control. The only time you can control what angle you hit at is in blade mode, and I don't think they would want you to manually enter blade mode. Hit in the opposite direction. This isn't like goddamn that one gameplay section in The Adventures of Tintin for the PS3.
What even is that?
Yes, that was a mechanic that you actually block like at a different angle to the enemy's attack. Yes, the game's based off a movie.
It's actually a movie game.
Yeah, that's
Give revengeance to the shop!
game. These were my favorite sections of the game because that was basically, for me, it felt like using Blade mode before Blade mode.
For me, that game. Hold on, let me pull it up. This was that for me.
Single Wii Sports.
Fucking great.
Playtime's over.
Drugs to be used.
You can't
actually tried to
cut
do it
this one.
before.
Okay. This is just a bunch of damage you have to take. Okay. Yeah, this is a really well-designed boss.
To play
Damn
that
right it is.
game.
Great. You can't cut this one. Okay. This is just a bunch of damage you have to take.
Magnetic power!
What the heck do I do? What do I do? And then you, like, slice him up here? No, you can't!
This is the state that Monsoon enters when he's at the peak of his magnetic power. You can't attack him or anything. The only way to counteract this is to land a perfect parry. The best way to do this is to slow down for a moment and stop attacking him when he's in this invincible state, to which he will then throw a sigh and then rush you with his pair of legs and torso. This is even more difficult on higher difficulties, as you have to do this multiple times to get this opening. This will give you the perfect parry opportunity you need to get him out of this state and do loads of damage to him. Or you could use the EM grenades on the ground after you destroy one of his vehicles he throws at you.
Yeah, this is a really well-designed boss.
I'm glad you think so.
If you count this as a Metal Gear game, which I don't, this is like no contest the worst one. God, this would be so ridiculously fast if that's what he's supposed to be doing.
Don't care.
Now that I understand this basic gimmick of the game, I feel like I can beat him, but still, it's a terrible boss.
Oh, let's see if he fails this.
With the Bertram fight.
What am I doing? Slicing? Oh.
You're dead.
You did.
I hit the correct buttons.
No, you didn't.
Stupid me.
It'd be funny if it weren't so pathetic. No, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.
What does it want? We are so lucky I didn't have to fight him again. I would have quit. I push the same buttons! This is quickly becoming one of the worst games I've ever played. And it's not just because of the input thing. It's all the glitches. The terrible writing. It's destroying so much. Oh my god, I hate him so much.
Your memes.
So bad. It is so bad. This is the sidestep. That's my actual dodge. I had to actually pay for a dodge. It's not even called dodge.
Yeah, Raiden should probably have this by default. Then again, what kind of move were you expecting from a name like defensive offense?
We are looking forward to your next visit.
They can, like, obviously we're a cyborg. There's tons of other cyborgs. They talk just like humans. Even my freaking dog was emoting, and I was gonna point out and complain about that. The dog was, like, talking with emotion. Stuff that an AI... Sure, it could be good enough to do that, but that means that on the lowest level, on like a military weapon, to be able to do that, something like this, that is sitting here and it's clearly, its entire function is to emote. And by the way, my radar is messed up again. AI's entire function is to sit here and simulate a human. That's why from the waist up, she looks like a person. And I'm sorry, it talks like this. Hot damn, this sucks.
Okay, let me set the record straight here. Blade Wolf is what the game describes as a neuro AI, a lot different than your typical computer. This information can be found in this codec after you defeat Blade Wolf.
A most fascinating opponent, wouldn't you say?
What did you make of it, Doc?
Everything it said seems feasible enough. It's true all UGs feature high-level AI these days. Given enough time to adapt and learn, a neuro AI could certainly become able to comprehend speech. Then with the right interface, speech and conversation will be possible.
But what about it having actual intelligence? John Searle disproved the viability of the Turing test back in 1980. In other words, just because something talks like a person doesn't mean it's really thinking. It could just be following some program designed to make it seem as intelligent as possible.
I'm impressed. You seem quite knowledgeable in this field.
I had a pretty memorable chat with an AI once.
Although Blade Wolf's AI is astonishing, it didn't prove to be effective on the battlefield.
I was originally conceived as a weapon to replace humans and cyborgs. Conversation and intelligent decision-making were deemed essential to the role. The project was eventually canceled after 3 years in development.
Why?
I have intelligence, but I lack a specific quality essential to any combatant.
What's that?
Brutality. I am not human, thus I lack the brutality inherent to humanity. I was shut down, then revived, apparently on Sundowner's orders.
Sundowner? But what's he want with you?
Unknown. A manifestation of his sense of humor, perhaps. As a machine, I am more sensitive to my fellow man than an actual fellow man. This amused him.
What's in front of you right now is a simple conversational android. Probably hardly able to pass the Turing test, but it doesn't really need to. It has a job to do and it seems like it does well enough to me. Also, I would like to note that this game came out in 2013. This kind of AI voice model is purely speculative technology at this point. And if we look at the state that that technology is in right now... Hey Google, is Metal Gear Rising a good game?
On the website kevinmd.com, they say, myth number 1, don't give milk to a child with a fever. The milk will curdle. Truth, as long as your child is not vomiting, milk is a perfectly acceptable fluid to give your febrile child. In fact, it is superior to plain water if your child refuses to eat, which is typical of a child with a fever.
I don't think that's related.
To find out more,
Hey,
look for the link
stop.
in your Google Home or Google Assistant app.
I rest my case. Before we get back to my commentary, that friend that I mentioned way at the beginning of the video that sent me the hamster bomb playthrough wanted to record his own commentary section for this portion. Hope you enjoy.
Hello, I'm Shocka the Baka, but my friends just call me Shocka. And today, I have been graciously invited by my good friend Stress Level to oversee the analysis of the chapter R04, as the chapter that I feel the most strongly about in Hamster Bombs' gameplay. Before even beginning though, I want a question to run through your brain. What is bias? It's a pretty simple question, and depending on the person, it can have wildly different results. But for most people, there's a pretty straightforward answer. And then some other people are hamster bomb. So to start, I'll just preface this with the fact that my portion of this video won't be very similar to Stress's normal commentary. It's going to be going over broad strokes more than individual portions of the video. In other words, more of a video essay style. In case you're not into that, you can skip my portion of the video with this timestamp. I genuinely won't be offended. YouTube essays aren't a thing for everyone. Getting into the thick of things, let's just take things at face value. No biases, nothing opinionated yet, and just go over the objective facts of Hamster Bombs' various trials and tribulations throughout this level. He questions the concept of AI in the MGR universe. He struggles in combat. He faces several controller-related issues. He struggles to fire a machine gun. He suffers from visual input, I suppose? Things like...
What is going on? Am I missing? What's happening?
Is an awfully confusing statement to hear when he's pretty clearly shooting a soldier riding on a slider with a machine gun. He just sort of stares agape. Then he says this sarcastically.
This is a game. We're playing a video game right now.
Jesus Christ. Moving on. He struggles with the lock-on system. He struggles with knowing what is blade mode cuttable and what isn't. He struggles with dodging enemies' attacks. He complains about the stun system, which is actually very understandable. He gets a pass on that one. He is incredibly sarcastic at times. He complains over his own decision to play the game, which is obviously something he has control over. He struggles over the gameplay mechanic, where if a limb or a portion of an enemy is blue, they're blade mode cuttable when in blade mode, and when they aren't, and your blade mode is in full, they aren't cuttable. As a reminder, he's on the 5th level of the game, and this is taught as early as R01. This isn't even me being opinionated yet still, he finds ways to just blunder through this game. Moving on, he brings up his hatred for Raiden and how he cringes at what he says, and then he brings up, you know what? No. We're going to start getting analytical now. Let's begin. It's at this specific moment right here that he says what triggered me enough to write this portion of the video.
This is quickly becoming one of the worst games I've ever played in my life.
This, right here. I want to bring us back to that question I brought up earlier. What is bias? Because clearly, this is something Hamster Bomb is just incapable of understanding. So much of his gameplay and commentary are just that. Incapable. He is incapable of having fun with the combat system. He is incapable of following instructions when the game prompts him with simple, previously taught inputs. He is incapable of even going through with these prompts, repeatedly blaming the game for his controller issues. He is incapable of even respecting the story and lore implications, instead of mindfully acknowledging them but still disagreeing with them, like how a normal human being responds to something they disagree with. And finally, the biggest offender. He is incapable of playing this game without some sort of bias. Some sort of agenda, dare I say. At every conceivable moment, he'll just go out of his way to say, oh, this game sucks. My inputs aren't working. Man, Raiden sounds just so dumb. The thing I just said in front of me is so dumb, I'm gonna go on a 15-second tangent about it. What is this? What is this? Hamster Bomb, I'm speaking directly to you now. It's one thing if all this negativity, complaining, and etc. were just for the camera, just to entertain your audience, but no. Just no. You very clearly are not doing that. If that were the case, then you wouldn't disable comments on the full game montage. You wouldn't go out of your way to delete comments on your review, and you certainly wouldn't encourage the comments that entertain your agenda, displaying to us your favoritism. What is it about this game that just inflates your ego, your sarcasm, your negativity to this sort of umpteenth degree? But maybe... Oh god. In a video posted by Hamsterbomb, August 5th of 2023, at minute 2, 16 seconds in, he says the following.
So anyway, a near-perfect score for Marvel Spider-Man must be pretty darn good. Yeah, now prepare for me to complain for most of this video and still justify a 9.
This right here highlights something to me. It brings clarity to my question from before, and answers it for us through the lens of Hamsterbomb. That question being, what is bias? He flat out, front and center displays his unapologetically blatant bias he has in his gaming views. His issue, his bias, is that he has this irresistible urge to hyper-focus on the negative elements of games. I won't bother hyper-analyzing this video in question, but just know that he was not kidding when he said he would be doing mostly complaining. It's just one thing after another, piling up on top of each other, yet he feels this game still deserves a 9. What? What the fuck? This is worse than IGN. At least when IGN gives a game a high score, despite their complaints about the review, you can understand and empathize with them because it's their job. And giving games genuinely bad reviews can be risky and usually undesirable, assuming they still want their job. But Hamsterbomb? Despite actually enjoying the game, he feels the compulsive need to complain about it, and for lack of a better term, whine about the game. And unfortunately, this connects back to his Metal Gear Rising video perfectly. The actual review itself is embarrassingly similar to his Spider-Man video. Both reviews are largely negative, the MGR one obviously being more negative, yet he has these wildly different feelings on both. It tells us how he would rather just say one thing, yet believe another, so that no matter what he says, he'll still be abiding by his agenda. It shows us that he's incompetent, that he is petty, but worst of all, that he is the pinnacle of bias and negativity. Thank you for your time, and thank you, Stress Level. Back to the actual video.
It's like, you know how many people work in quality assurance? It just takes one person. Like, I am one person, and I could have told him a laundry list of things they have to fix. Like, you cannot ship this game like this. Actual Xbox controller. I hate this thing. Rocket Man's back. Oh my, what is with this camera?
As we've discussed ad nauseum at this point, when you're in certain sections of the game, in a more confined space, the camera's at its worst. As you might have been able to tell from my background gameplay, I play the game with an FOV mod and switch between using my lock-on every now and then. I've also played DMC Devil May Cry's demo, and I could say that lock-on is a hell of a lot worse than Metal Gear Rising. That's a game I could actually rip on myself, if I actually played the whole damn thing. God forbid.
Doesn't smell too good. What's in the can?
A compound I created based on an old Wiccan recipe. Sea salt, shark oil, iron shavings, desiccated squirrel semen.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
However, referring to the section of the game where he's having this problem, allegedly, it looks like, well, it just looks fucking fake. Like he just inputted the camera to go this way.
This is the, no kidding, the worst game I have ever played that had the name Metal Gear in the title. And I have played Snake's Revenge.
Okay, now this is where my small amount of knowledge on the Metal Gear series runs dry. From what I've heard, Snake's Revenge isn't the worst gameplay-wise, but it has an absolutely stupid story. It does sound like the game has a good soundtrack, though.
I refuse to believe that this game is an absolute sham, and I'm the only person in the world who realizes it.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
How do I fire it? How do I fire it? How do I fire it? Seriously, where
says it right there.
Where are they?
You're fucking kidding me.
Where are they?
I swear, he's doing this shit on purpose.
This. We have to use our heat sensor thing to find stuff through the walls, but my targeting system, look at it. Again, just completely glitched out.
I don't know why he keeps referring to this UI glitch that I've already mentioned, where the minimap goes away as his targeting system. Regardless, using the AR display, you could still see the heat signatures in the walls, even with this UI glitch with the minimap gone. He's just not in an area where any of those are present, and so of course you're not going to see any here. You see, this is what I mean by the framing of this video. I'm sure later on he finds out where he can see these heat signatures, but you know, it's the fault of the game, because he didn't really interpret what the game was saying correctly.
Here you go, gotta get them views. Wait, that doesn't work. At least be consistent with how perverted you are, game.
Funny you say that, because it actually is. You've sliced these ribbons before. All you gotta do is use blade mode. I guess Hamster Mom just has the memory of a goddamn goldfish.
Look at the gameplay. This is gameplay. This is real gameplay. This is real. Oh my god. This is a nightmare. Why did I do this to myself a second week in a row?
I feel like shit.
The game taught me to run in wildly. And now of all times, that's apparently not what you're supposed to do.
You know what the game didn't tell you? Not to defend yourself. At this point, you know the parry, you know defensive offense, so you know how to avoid damage. You're not listening to the mechanics that are right in front of your face right now. It is an active decision you are partaking in, not engaging with the mechanics any further. You know what I was thinking of doing for this section, dear viewer? I was going to show some of the triumphs of this game. I was going to create another montage of some of the great stuff from this game. You know what I said to myself? Fuck that. I trust the random person coming across this video to assess that for themselves. When you look at my gameplay, you can see how well the game is functioning, and that's outside of any sort of montage that I've created so far. Outside any of the quality of life mods that I have installed. The only mods I've installed that have altered the way that this game works gameplay-wise is an FOV mod. With that short little rant over, I'm going off script. I'm taking out a lot of gameplay. I'm taking out all the repeated complaints that he's had with this game from this point on.
Why is the game so astronomically unfun? There, give me that. I kind of need that. What? Come on now. Pick it up. Pick it up, you big Why is he not grabbing it? Raiden, it is right there. You're gonna die, you dim. Oh my god. Well, now I had to waste a ration because the game, or like freaking Raiden, it's laying right there. I'm looking at it.
This is another thing I can point to and say for sure this is because of the PC he's running this game on. Regardless, I decided to ask around in the Discord I'm in. Here's the answer I found that made the most sense. And I say this because, well, he's running the game at a lower frame rate than usual. Not just that, he's running it on a machine that can't run it all that well. And so he's going to experience some abnormal bugs here because of that. In any case, let me know what you think in the comments.
Okay, we're just gonna run up the building now. Just like every Platinum Games, gravity is just a convenient thing that bends to your will.
I guess there's no room for suspension of disbelief.
Are we in a building? We're in a building. There's studio lighting, so is that a painting on the wall? Yes. I guess they were just desperate to change the setting.
Meanwhile.
Right a ways up now, yeah? Almost there. I have just finished analyzing the latest.
If that was an option, why didn't we just do that from the beginning?
Indoor garden up ahead.
A garden? Sounds fancy.
A Japanese garden, to be precise. It is an area set aside for VIPs. Apparently, one of World Marshal's directors is a rather serious Japanese culture enthusiast.
All right. So what's this got to do with me? Is there something I need from the garden?
Not at all. You need only pass through that area to arrive at a freight elevator. I found a route to the elevator controls through the unit we hijacked downstairs. I have located the server room as well. You can reach it via the freight elevator.
Great work, Doc.
Elementary, my dear Raiden. Now, head for the garden.
He really doesn't sound German.
I find this section of the game pretty humorous. You already know that someone who was working on this game really wanted to see Raiden in this environment. I can't blame him. The aesthetics here are great. We even get more information in the Jetstream Sam DLC as to why this is even here in the first place.
I knew Johnson's team was working on some fancy-pants new reception area. But, Jesus. when I get my hands on that candy ass. He'll be lucky if he can even carry his box of shit out of the building.
What on earth is this dumpster fire? People actually, like, excuse this game, too. What are they thinking? Are they just Metal Gear fanboys? Are they just 12?
Fucking idiot!
How on earth? They, like, one kick, and I am just, like, completely done.
That CNT muscle fiber packs the power of a jackhammer into every limb. Every limb.
Holy shit.
What? What even happened? I snuck up on him and tried to, like, one-hit kill him. There's no point of stealth. You can't even sneak up on anybody. You saw what happened? I just, like, dink, bounced right off of him like I didn't even hit him.
Hostiles in the lower corridor, I see. Try to flank them, or approach from behind.
B action.
Excellent, Raiden.
Even if you know nothing of Metal Gear, this is just an abomination developers wanted to have happen next. I don't remember any of the other dogs doing this. Hey, look, I hit it, guys. And I'm dead. Oh, no, I had a... Well, too late. Oh, my God.
I think I'm losing my mind.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I hate it. Guys, do you understand? What the hell's happening? What? Why did the game just... I can't see. My screen's black. Okay, here. Oh my God. There are no mods on this making it screw up this bad. I swear to God. We're even repeating dead bosses.
That's because the game wants to give you the challenge of beating Mistral and Monsoon in one engagement. But hey, I guess that's fair. It is a bit of a rehash.
This is one of those games where, like, the gameplay was so bad and I had such a bad experience with it. I don't know if I can even listen to the soundtrack offline, even if I enjoy it.
Like the good old days after 9/11.
I can't think of a way to make this any worse. And then he just dropped a 9/11 reference. Like, can we drown the writer?
Jesus, man, chill the fuck out. Check your blood pressure.
Slow and painful.
This whole game has been slow and painful. There was no dodging that.
Maybe you should try blocking it.
And phase 2. Nonsense. Here comes.
What is going on? Raiden, answer me!
Well, now we come in with full HP. Last time we started with like 70 or something. Oh. Just kidding. You actually start with 113. Oh, here it comes again. You can't dodge it. What? What the heck? You can parry his shield ram attack. Oh, I can parry. I didn't think to parry it. Yeah, at least one of us is having fun.
Your body should analyze
Jesus Christ. 45 hits. Look at it. What I have to do.
Maybe you need to break his shield to deal more damage.
Plenty in there. Jesus. What the hell? Why is he coughing? He doesn't have lungs. How is he? I don't. It's just so dumb.
Yeah, that's a weird thing this game does from time to time. I love it though, for as stupid as it is, because we get to hear the dying words of the bosses and we get to cut them to pieces. So, you know, point taken and all that. It doesn't really make any sense, but I find it funny.
Mach 23 if we're talking 1 atmosphere.
No.
17,650 miles per hour.
God, this is like Need for Speed. Stupid.
hour.
You're going that fast. That's the escape velocity. Like, you're leaving the atmosphere. You'd have to be bending down on it's so dumb. This is so... I can't. I'm just trying to ignore it, okay? I'm trying to pretend it's not happening.
That's the top speed, not the speed they would have to go to reach Pakistan in under 3 hours. They would have to go roughly 1,500 miles per hour to make it, just in time to stop Armstrong.
And in 3 hours, maybe less. He said even Mach 2 could not get there in time. If he was serious, that's 4,000 miles away.
4,500. So whatever it is, it's not happening on American soil.
Hold up. It's not a jet we need.
Courtney?
An RLV would make it with time to spare.
That's...
Mach 23 if we're talking 1 atmosphere.
Wait a frickin' minute. Raiden can survive that fall from a skyscraper is death? Yeah.
I've heard people who love this game say this, and I'm gonna say my piece on this. I think this was just a player convenience thing. Why would they make it so you have to scale the building again to get back where you were when you accidentally fall off the building? That to me makes no sense from a gameplay standpoint.
Oh, we're here again. I guess we're just reusing areas.
Yeah, this chapter takes you through the latter part of Denver again. You get a neat little achievement for beating it really fast. I don't really mind it at all. I love the game's combat and it just gives me more of an opportunity to use it. It just clicks with me so well.
Also, Raiden, we don't drive on the lines. I know that's what you learned in preschool when you played with your Hot Wheels on the carpet.
Why should Raiden care about this? This is the middle of buttfuck nowhere. Why is it an issue if he drives on the line for a little bit? Like, this is a cool shot, you know? But he has to fucking bitch about it. We're almost done. We're almost done.
End of story.
I wish.
Don't interfere. This is between us.
So stupid. Oh, stop doing this. Stop doing this. Trying to do like a Wild West samurai thing? Good God.
Okay. Let's dance!